Clutch Trucker is filmed before a live studio audience. Right, Rusty? He's so talkative. Hey, YouTube. Thanks so much for tuning in again to the Clutch Trucker channel. This is going to be another episode in the Quick and Dirty series of repairs for your truck. I had talked before about, of course, being an owner-operator. I try to do as many little repairs as I can. There's lots of things you can do as an owner-operator, even a company driver. I know a lot of companies I know won't let you fix a lot of these little things, but a lot of times it's the only way to get back on the road right away. Because like I have an airline issue. I've had a leaky air system somewhere for the past few weeks, and this truck is normally very tight air-wise, so it holds air really well, and you know, at least it takes close to 30 hours before it would drain enough to where my tanks would hit below that 60 point, so that when you start your truck in the morning, then you got to wait for it to air back up. And that's when I started noticing I was having an issue. And so it was taking me a little while to figure out where it was. And I finally, last night, was able, or actually early this morning, however you want to look at it, was able to find that air leak issue. I'm sorry, I'm sniffing a lot. Allergies are kicking my butt. Every spring, every fall, I have the joy of the wonderful allergy season. And here I am out here in Iowa. I'm in West Burlington, Iowa, at a little tiny gas and sip kind of truck stop. Actually, it's the 34 Fast Break truck stop. Actually, a nice little truck stop. It's an old school ma and pa kind of place. They have a restaurant, but it's only open like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's clean. It's got the basics. Dirt lot, but some grass around the perimeter for the dog. So good little place to park. It's if you're on 34, the bypass of 34, you're gonna miss this. You have to get off of the main road because this is an older truck stop, and it's here when that was where the main road used to go. But anyway, 34 Fast Break truck stop in West Burlington, Iowa. Good little place to park. Okay, back to the repair kind of issue of this thing, the quick and dirty repair. I use the phrase quick and dirty because my father, who was a professor at the Colorado School of Mines in Golden, Colorado, wrote a couple of books, and one of them was called the Quick and Dirty Manual. And it came out at a time, this was late 60s, early 70s, when the sexual revolution was happening. So he thought that would be hilarious to name an engineering book the Quick and Dirty Manual. And it was all about quick and dirty ways to solve engineering problems. But it's kind of fun. My dad had a twisted sense of humor, and of course that's passed down to me. So this is kind of the naming these the quick and dirty methods is a way to honor my passed on father. He was a great guy. Anyway, so what we're talking about, I've talked about like the quick and dirty method for wire repair. You can watch my video on that. Quick and dirty way to save some money by having a spare tire carrier and a spare tire mounted, aired up, ready to go. This is the third in the series. Airline issues. Now, it happens on trucks all the time. And like I said, I finally found my airline leak. I thought maybe it was one of my cab airbags. I had to replace one of those about a year ago. And that kind of started the same way. Slowly leaking air. And every day my gauges would drop a little lower after shorter times being stopped. But I finally found the issue then. That was the cab airbag. This time when I was fueling early this morning, it is, let's see, the 13th. Friday the 13th. Of September. That's why my allergies are so bad this time of year. Anyway, was fueling up early this morning at Sap Brothers in Cheyenne, Wyoming. No other trucks around on the fuel island, and so I had the hood open. I was putting some more coolant in, was refilling the washer fluid, added some more oil, and I was hearing that leak, that slight little hiss sound, and I was able to track it down. It's the main air manifold mounted on the firewall on the inside of the under the hood is where I was hearing the air coming from, and there's a whole bunch of airlines going in and out of that manifold. Was able to track it down to a giant airline that looks like this big green one here. All right, now this one is this is just a little chunk I got today at a Freightliner in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I delivered in Cedar Rapids. Like I said, I tracked down the issue. It was where this airline goes up into that manifold, and there's this little joint. It's got threads. This threads into the bottom of the air manifold, and the quick connect on the other side is where that line goes into that manifold, and it was leaking right around here because I was able to get my hand up in there and feel right around this edge, and I was feeling the air leak out. So it's either coming out of this fitting here where probably maybe this tube is bounced in and out a little too much while driving down the road, and that's kind of worn out, so it's not getting a good seal anymore, or it's this plastic little kind of elbow unit maybe got a hole in it or is cracked or something. So it's either that or this where it connects into that. So I knew I had to get at least those two pieces, and like I say, this one is threaded, so it's going to go into my manifold. The funny thing is, this piece was only about 10 bucks. They didn't even charge me for this chunk of airline. This piece, you may say, what is this? Well, this is a double-ended quick connect. So you can connect one end of your airline, and I can cut it and then connect, the other end. So you can just pop it and it goes on the other side, okay? These little quick connect things are great. The way they work is there's a little, and it's hard to show it on here, but there's this little ring, okay? This moves up and down. So I can kind of pull it out. You can see that pulls down and then pushes back up. The way they work is this airline pushes in here, and if you push really hard in there and then pull back, the sleeve is going to pull down over that, so it's going to make it hard to pull back out. I don't want to shove it all the way on now because I need to keep this open and not sealed up yet, because I'm going to make the repair with this. But this little piece, $50. This one, 10 bucks. Why? It's a Freightliner. Because basically they know if you're going to do it yourself, they're going to charge you a little bit more for this piece because you're not giving them the 200 bucks to fix your problem. You're solving it on your own. Quick and dirty, baby. But these little quick connects are awesome. Now this is a big airline. Now I had to do some airline repairs before in the past, and I have another little piece. So here's another little airline. This is like the size of airline that'll go up to your seat if you've got an air ride. Okay, so then they make quick connects for this size of airline. Okay, much smaller. I had to do another repair on my engine, about 1.5 years ago. That's why I still have this little chunk in here, and I keep it right here in my cab. So if I need to re-repair that again, I've got another little chunk of airline, and I just leave that stuck right up here in my little dash shelf, okay? Now, that's how those quick connects work. They're great, because it's probably took me longer to buy the parts and to have them look them up to make this repair than it's going to take to do the repair. Now, it's late at night here in Burlington, Iowa, Friday the 13th. I'm parked for the night. I picked up a load over there in Burlington. I'm in West Burlington, Iowa. Picked up a load in Burlington, and I'm going to then drive. It delivers in something, Kentucky, on Monday morning, 4 a.m. So probably Sunday is when I need daylight to do this. It's dark now. I've been up a long time. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep in, probably drive through the night tomorrow night into Sunday morning, get down to where I'm going to deliver. There's a little truck stop down there, a little no-name near where I'm going to deliver. Then I'll do my repair. So through the magic of editing, you will all of a sudden see my shirt will probably change. So I'm going to get a shower, and I'll do the repair, and I'll show you as I do the repair. So like I said, I got my parts I needed, my extra chunk of this airline. I'm probably just going to use about half of this. All right, this goes up into the manifold, and then I'm going to run that airline, this new airline, into that, and then I'm going to cut the old airline where it went up into that manifold, and use the quick connect on this end to join it back to the one that's feeding it up there. And like I say, it's going to be a fairly quick repair with these little quick connects. They're the way to go, baby. Nice and easy. This was a total of about $60 in parts. Not bad. And I won't have to pay some mechanic $200 to diagnose the problem, shop fees, more labor time to fix it, not to mention try to get into a Freightliner to get any of that done. They're going to say, oh, well, it's going to be, 2-3 days before we can even get you in for this minor little repair. This is why you need to try to do crap like this on your own as an owner-operator. All right, so now, next, through the magic of editing, it'll be daytime. I'll probably have a different shirt on, and we'll look at doing the actual repair. The magic of editing. Okay, we're going to attempt to make the repair here on this airline. Now, you can see there's this big cluster of airlines all bound together, going up here. And then they come up, and it's hard to see because there's lots of sun out here. But just underneath my coolant tank is a what they call an air block manifold. You can see various airlines coming in, like over here and here. Okay, and the one I need to repair, I'm trying to get the camera out of the sun, is this green one right behind the red one. I'm kind of tugging on it right now. That's it right there. Alright, and it's got a little elbow fitting. You can see it right there going up. So it's either that fitting or this line itself where it connects. You can see where I'm pointing to right there. Okay, well, I got the airline off of the quick connect angled connector, which I can't seem to get a shot of here. Let's see if I can see it back there. Okay, there it is. You're looking right at it, okay? There's the angle connector coming down from the manifold. I got the airline out of it, pushing up on this sleeve here, and then pulling the airline out, okay? So now what I'm going to attempt is, there's a big wire harness behind this angled piece coming down, but it's a little loose. If I push it more towards the right, it's tighter. So the first thing I'm going to try is using some of my new airline, which I have right here. Okay, so there's the top of the line that I just pulled out. You can see where it's scored around the top from being in that thing. So I'm going to try putting a new piece up into the connector, which is right back there, and then use the joint double end butt connector to connect this existing line right here with the new line. Okay, so now the sun has a lot of problem here. You can see I've got this new little section. I've cut it right here, okay, of line going into the current angled thing. Shoved it in really hard, pulled back on it, and that should make a tight seal on that, okay? Now, my other line, which is sticking up over here, trying to get it out of the sun, that's the hard part. Where is it? Ah, there it is. There's the top of it there. Now I've got to trim that one down so it'll fit with the other one. Okay, well I attempted to use the same angle Well, you can see things did not go too well. I showed you the video where I showed you the other angle connector, tried to use the original one, put the line all back together using the double-ended connector and shoved it all up in there, started the truck up again, and as I showed in the brief one where all you heard is the big hissing sound, well, obviously it still had an issue. So it was still the angle piece that was bad. So I had to take it all back apart again and try to start over from there. Problem was, that's where all the trouble started. My phone heated up, it wouldn't record anymore. I could not get it back apart. Finally had to cut it so I could get that angle piece out, and then try to get the new section I had put on out of the one end of the double-ended connector. And I've never used these metal in plastic ones before, just only plastic ones. Well, these metal ones are much harder to take apart. I spent an hour doing that. Then I spent another hour trying to get the other angled connector out off of that manifold, and that was ridiculous. Then had to try to get the new one up in there. There's that wiring harness I showed you that was kind of in the way. Had to clip a lot of zip ties out of the way to try to move that. Took almost another hour to get the new angle connector in. I couldn't get it down quite tight enough. I was afraid it wasn't going to work right, and I was right. At this point, it had been almost 3 hours, and I was kind of done. And it was hot outside. It's about 95 degrees here in Kentucky today, and I was kind of done. But I had to at least get it put back together to a point, or I couldn't move the truck. Can't move a truck without air working, right? So, yeah, I got that angle connector in there, but obviously not tight enough. Put the whole system back together again, and I still have a leak. It's about, the funny thing is, it's about where it was before. So I replaced everything, fixed it all, and yet I still have an air leak just about as bad as the one I had before. The difference is now it's out of a different place. It's coming off of the threads where those go up into the manifold because I couldn't get that tight enough. So, like I say, got very frustrated and decided it's back together enough to where I can drive the truck, I can run the truck. I'm going to have to try again some other day because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Unfortunate part is I'm going to have to buy all three of those parts again. I'm going to have to buy a new chunk of hose. I'm going to have to buy the double-ended connector, and I'm going to have to buy another angle connector because trying to tear those back apart is just doesn't seem to work. Took too long and giant pain in the butt. So I'm going to have to buy all the parts again. This is the downside to being an owner-operator when you try to fix your own crap. Sometimes it don't go well. Today, it didn't go well. At least I got it put back together to the point where I didn't have to do a road call to have somebody come out here and save my ass. I was able to save my own ass, thank you. It's just now I'm back to basically where I was before I started. So, that happens sometimes, and now I know what I need to do next time. I'll just have to start all over, and this video will continue, hopefully when I get back to it again and can redo it again. That's the brakes, baby. Blah.